to Wade's RC Hangar. Today we have the Triniti 3D by VA Models, brought to you by Epphobby. We're going to go ahead and do the full review. I already did the build video. I've done a couple flights on it and I absolutely love it. Let's first start off with a couple of the key features on this airplane. As you can see, this airplane is actually a profile airplane, which is not like the EPP planes typically carried by Epphobby. This is one of the first profile planes that I've seen through them. Typically the EPP planes are full fuse EPP planes. So I was a little kind of shocked at how rigid this airplane went together. You will see on the build video that it's straightforward. The instructions are in English. They make sense, which is a big part of it. Alright, so this thing went together very well. A couple of things about the setup. We're running Metal Gear 9-gram servos that were provided in the power pack through Epphobby. Okay, we're running the E-Flight 1000 milliamp 30C battery, so it's a nice light battery, but it's got enough power. I think on the flight today in the wind we got a little over 11 minutes of flight time, and we still had plenty of battery left. The motor that came with it is a 2215 brushless motor. It's got a nice slow fly prop on it and a 25 amp ESC. That ESC does its job well, doesn't get hot, doesn't get warm. Alright, as far as the construction, like I said, again, it's full EPP. Alright, I know a lot of things that I was worried about when I first bought this was talking about how flexible it is. Now you can see right here, this thing, nice and sturdy, okay? Nice and sturdy. No issues with flexing. Alright, when you open it up, you'll notice that the wings are flexible, but on the top and on the bottom, there are aluminum rods that actually stiffen it up nice. Alright, there's also aluminum rods, and you can't see them, that run on the flat portion of the fuse all the way down. So you've got some pretty good stability on that way too. As far as the maneuvers are concerned, this thing has plenty of authority. It's got great rudder authority for knife edges. It's got great authority for rolls with your ailerons, as you can see right here. Right, the ailerons are very, very large in proportion to the wings, so it does maneuver quite well. The Metal Gear servos have a lot of authority. They don't like to flex a lot. There's no play in them whatsoever, so the Metal Gear servos really rock. As far as the setup on the bottom side, alright, all I'm using is a basic $5 orange receiver. Now I know a lot of people don't like the orange receivers, but I'm not really worried about this thing going down as it's EPP, so you can glue the thing right back together. Not an issue. Alright. Also, a landing gear mount. It has the ability to launch it either hand launch or ground launch. I've used both. Today we flew it in the wind, so I wanted to hand launch it. The other day we flew it with the landing gear on. There's no degradation in performance when it comes to this airplane with or without the landing gear. The only thing that I would suggest for you to build or do while you're doing the build, and I don't know if you can see it very well, but on the back here I simply have just a piece of plastic to protect it. If you're going to do a lot of ground takeoffs, I would reinforce or put some horn or some plastic on the tail end of this so that you can actually protect it. Mine wore down a little bit due to the taxi tests that we were doing before we flew it, so I would definitely recommend putting something there to protect it. Also, one more thing just to be careful of on the build, and I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it, but the rudder has a lot of play. Okay, there are recommended throws in the user's manual. I would stick with those. If you want a little bit more throw, you could run into problems like I did. When the rudder goes all the way to one side or the other, the elevator will catch right there on the rudder control horn. So what you want to do is apply these nice little supports for the rod. Apply them so that they go kind of in an arc up a little bit, and then secure your rudder control horn a little bit higher so that you can get full throws on elevator and rudder without anything binding up. Other than that, the Triniti from VA Models, brought to you by Epphobby, has been fantastic. It's one of the most well-built profile planes I've ever flown. I flew it, I went to actually test taxi it, and I didn't even have any intentions on flying it, and the thing took off like a dream. I didn't require maybe 2-3 clicks of trim on aileron and elevator, and it was flying straight as an arrow. Slow speed capabilities of this airplane are phenomenal. Okay, the fast characteristics, well, there's not really any fast characteristics with this prop on, as I'm running a slow flyer prop, but it will speed quite along if you were to put the right prop on it. Not a problem. the motor overpowered for this airframe, which is exactly what you want if you're trying to do 3D. All right, the ESC again does everything it's supposed to. You have plenty of authority with everything, and I cannot talk highly enough about this airplane. So this is one of the best airplanes that I've flown and built. It's just been a blast to build, a blast to fly, and if you're thinking about pulling the trigger on the Trinity from VA Models, I would do it. All right, so this is my full review on the airplane. There will be plenty of flight videos to come. We're going to plan on mounting a camera on it, get some onboard footage. I've also got some other footage coming. So thanks again for tuning in to Wade's RC Hangar. We will see you around, and keep flying.